Okay, folks, time for us to get going. And it's time I got used to saying good morning, good evening, good afternoon, no matter in the world you're coming from. Looking at the call, we've got people in the call right now from Australia, from the USA, from around the UK, from all over Europe. So this truly is an international call. And tonight's call is a call I've been looking forward to for the last few days. Towards the end of last week, Simon Brooks and myself were having a conversation with Brandon Boyd, and we were talking about how we can progress our business, what we can do that will actually take us forward in the future. And we were talking about what we were seeing with other people in our team as well. And one thing that we seem to a little bit out of kilter with is trying to strike the right balance. And it's the balance between, do I spend all my time trading? Do I spend all my time training? Do I spend all my time trying to go out and build my team? What's the right balance to have? Well, as it happens, a few months ago, Brandon did a very, very successful training on exactly that topic. And when he did it, when he first put it out, people started calling him from all over the place, asking if they could get his slides because they thought the training was very, very powerful. Well, several months down the line right now, it's relevant to tell it again to new people who've joined us perhaps only in the last few weeks and months, and give you an idea of what successful people are doing and how they go to the very, very top in this business. And if you're going to talk about successful people, then let's talk about people who've achieved rank, and that's where we're going to talk to Chairman 50, who will soon be Chairman 100, Brandon Boyd from Utah in North America. Brandon, can you hear me?
I can, loud and clear. Can you hear me, Roger?
Certainly can.
Awesome. Well, guys, I'm super excited to be on. We're live on Zoom and Instagram and Facebook, and I'm really excited to talk about this subject because when I was out in Europe, I covered it quite a bit, but some people need a refresher, and then we also have new people on here as well. And one of the things that the leaders out there told me was, how do you balance trading versus building? And before that, what's funny is I'd actually done a training how to become a millionaire and keep your family. And so this has been one of those things that I've been really good at, is trying to balance the trade time and the balance time. And so I'm actually going to cover that now. If you're on the Facebook or Instagram and you actually are not able to see the slides here when I start, you can go follow me at Brandon Boyd Official. I'm actually going to get your recording of this. Okay. So what I'm going to do here is a share screen, and I'm super excited to get the opportunity to be able to share these things with you. Hopefully it's going to make a difference. I know for myself, it definitely made a difference. And so what I'm going to do is break down for you exactly what I did to balance trading and business building, because I do want to tell you it's possible. It is possible to do it. And so what I want to know right now, though, in the chat is how many of you feel like that you've had a struggle between how much time you trade and when you should actually be building? If so, I want you to put a 111 inside the chat. Go ahead and put it in there. I want to see how many people we got. I think this is a challenge. People feel like that they have to choose either or, but I can tell you from personal experience of the amount of money I've made on the business side, the amount of money I've made on the trading side, that you can do both when I have a wife and 6 children. All right. So I know that it can be done. Now, when I look at my trading journey, I'm going to be completely transparent with you guys because it's important to just be authentic and tell the truth. My trading journey is 5+ years. About 5.5 years ago is when I found out about the foreign exchange market. And I put in over $200,000 learning how to trade. Now, some people complain about 235, 175 or whatever. It cost me $200,000 learning how to trade. Now, just so you guys know up front, you're not going to have to put out $200,000 to learn how to trade. All right. This was the process that I went through. Part of the reason why is because, number one, nobody trained me. Number two is because we did not have back then what we have today, which makes it much easier. But will I tell you that it is worth it to put in the time, the sweat equity? The answer is yes, because what I believe is that your entire trading journey can be covered on a single trade. Do you realize that? You know that we have people that make 6 figures in trade. You guys have been on the Go Lives. You guys have seen Matthew Thayer. You've seen Ness Velasquez. So the reality is it is worth the time. I went through a lot of different strategies and signals I thought, man, if we could get this strategy, that's going to solve all of our problems. If we could get these signals from swipe trades or this Telegram group, that's going to solve all of our problems. Man, all the problems are going to go away. And the reality is that they didn't. I tried trading all the different sessions. I went from I'm willing to lose sleep and actually be up during the London session, which here in the US is in the middle of the night. I was willing to have raccoon eyes like Rocky Balboa to make it happen. So I stayed up late, and that lasted for me about a week. I said, I can't function. I got to have sleep. I don't want to die early after making lots of money, right? So I tried all the different sessions. I thought, well, if I can get on London, that's going to do it. If I can get on New York, that's going to do it. If I can do Asian, that's going to do it. And so I tried trading all these different sessions. I had different mentors. I know that you guys have as well. I said, well, if I could get this guy and this guy and this guy, that's going to make it for me, right? So a lot of different mentors along the way. And I do want to tell you, and I want to be honest, I wanted to quit at least 100 times. If you can relate to that, put 100 in there. There were every day. That's it. I'm not putting another dollar into my brokerage account. Until I see proof that this works, I am not putting another. I wanted to quit 100 times. I didn't think that this is going to work for me, and it's probably not going to work for my people. Now, this was more of the earlier days. I don't have those thoughts today, but in the earlier days, I was like, that's it. I'm not going to do it again. Then you guys treat this like it's some kind of casino or gambling. And you're like, the next day I'm back in, and you're back in your mind. You're like rolling the dice, right? So, but these were the thoughts that went through my head while I had this whole trading journey. All right. Now I want to show you an image here. And what's funny is, you know, it's when I put this together about 8 months ago, Mike Tyson was retired, and a lot of you guys know that he's actually coming back to fight Roy Jones Jr. So kind of interesting that it's here on the slide. There must have been law of attraction or something. But trading is like Mike Tyson's Punch Out. Now, I grew up with Nintendo. Some of you guys have heard of it, some of you not. But here's what I experienced with Mike Tyson's Punch Out. You will get killed in the market if you don't have a loss plan. You'll get killed. There's no money management, and you're trading, and you don't have a loss plan when to cut out, especially with regular Forex or crypto, you're going to get killed. When you look at Mike Tyson's glove, think of that as your stop loss. He will give you the uppercut, because when I was Mac on there, could not beat the guy. I thought Mike Tyson's indestructible, right? Until you have a loss plan. Well, how did I beat Mike Tyson? I knew, like a video game, that I'd eventually win if I did not quit. Write that down. You are eventually going to win if you do not quit. So you have to make a resolve. That's what Brian Tracy said. You have to make a resolve that quitting is not an option, that we're going to take over the island, that we're going to burn the boats, and that we win or perish. Okay? So that's how I treat my marriage, and that's how I treat business. That's how I treat trading, and that's why I win. You have to make a resolve. You have to be committed, all right? Okay, so these are very important. These are my 5 keys to success in trading. I want you guys to write these down. By the way, this is being recorded. I'll get you guys a recording on Brandon Boyd Official on Instagram if you hit me up on there, okay? Number 1, never hurry. Why? Because the one who hurries always loses. Man, this was painful for me early in my career. I was hasty, not prudent. And then I read the Bible, and guess what it said? He is good to those that wait. Be prudent. You don't have to hurry and get into trades just because you got home off of work. And that's the only time you have to get into, to actually do your trading, right? Do not hurry to become successful, because it will cost you your trading account and you will quit. So number 1 is to not be in a hurry to have to make money. Number 2, this was important for me, especially when I was trying to stay up for the later sessions. Do not make decisions when you are tired, because tired eyes rarely see a good future. You need to choose a session time, guys, that works best for you and your schedule. So what session works best for me and my schedule and my family is the New York session. That's what works best for me. The Asian doesn't work because that's typically when I'm with my family. The London doesn't work because I've got to sleep. So I'm making decisions when I'm wide awake. So choose the session and time that works out best for you. Now, you don't need to trade every session. When you look at the educators, they're not trading every single session. You may just choose one, and you trade for 30 minutes, you trade for 45 minutes or an hour, and you're done for the day. If you want to make a full-time income, you don't have to trade full-time. You don't want to do that, okay? Number 3, is you want to go for long-term results instead of an immediate return. Because wise men and women make decisions that last for years, not weeks. You've got to become a long-term thinker in order to have a long-term trading account. So I tell people all the time, you got to think long-term, be a visionary. Most people have sight, very few have vision. They only see to get to the weekend. I'm thinking 5 years down the road. The decisions I make today are affecting 5 years, 10 years down the road. I don't look for an immediate return. I'm thinking about the compound effect. I'm thinking about the penny being doubled every day for 31 days. Most people quit early on. All right. So go and think long term. Don't think, oh, I got to get my monthly subscription paid. While that's good, I will be, let me say this as politely as I can. If all you're thinking about is I got to cover my monthly, number one, that's broke mentality. You'll stay broke. Number two, you're probably guaranteed to quit. Let's just be real. If all you're thinking about is covering your monthly, using that money to cover the monthly, it's probably not the best thing. However, of course we want that to happen. Of course we want to have more value that we're putting out, right? But have the mentality that I'm growing this snowball and it's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. Number four, keep your lot size in proportion. The reason why I say your lot size or your risk, for those who are seeing this for the first time, your risk management, is that what I believe is that an account with $0 in it changes 0 lives. Okay. The key is to keep and protect the account. And you do that by keeping your lot size in proportion with a balance in your account. So if I have $1,000, what am I going to trade? Typically 1 to 5%. Other people are like, I'm trading 10%. I'm so confident. Okay. You can do that, but I can almost promise you, you're probably not going to have a long-term account. You might have success for a day, a week, even a couple weeks, but eventually the market is going to get the best of you. Keep your lot size, your risk in proportion with the size of the account, okay? Fifth one, always be learning. Say to yourself, I'm getting better and better every day in every way. You got to say that to yourself every day. I'm getting better and better every day in every way. You got to study the professionals. And when I say professionals, people that actually have the results. Stop getting the opinions of sheep that don't pay your bills. Learn the strategies of the professionals. Never peak in your learning unless you want to stunt the growth on your investment account. I'm always learning and growing. One of the things that I learned from Ed Milet is he said, I am obsessed about progress. Obsessed about getting that knowledge. Obsessed about action. So an obsession, progress equals happiness. That's what Tony Robbins tells us. So I'm obsessed about progress. That means always be learning, always be growing. What did Jim Rohn say? Always be a student, okay? Those are my 5 keys to success in trading. Now, how can you find time to build the business while you're trading? This is what I want to talk about, the second part, because there's people on this call right now and are on Instagram and on Facebook Live that want to know, how do I become a successful trader? But I want those residuals, because the only way I make money is to trade. That's active income. That's fine. But you want those residuals. You want passive income. You want Rich Dad, Poor Dad talk about money that comes in while you sleep. Okay. One thing I learned from my mentor is Zig Ziglar said, lack of direction, not lack of time, is the problem. We all have 24 days, 24-hour days. And so it's the direction that we're taking every day, not the time that we're putting in, that's actually the problem. Remember, it says the only reason that men and women fail is what? Broken focus. Every one of us have 24 hours a day. Whether we're a millionaire or pauper, we all got 24 hours, okay? So here's the thing. Outside of trading, how can I effectively and efficiently build a business? Well, key number 1, write this down. It's not the time, it's quality time. We've already talked about that. It's not how much time. I believe if you guys had 30 to 60 minutes a day, you could actually be successful doing this. You could make more money part-time than you do on your full-time job. Now, I have to say that with a disclaimer that we can't make a guarantee, right? I'm just saying that you could do that. You could make more money part-time than on your full-time job. So it's actually the quality of the time that you put in. Make sharing the services or the business a part of who you are. You don't need to set aside time. See, when we were coming in today from lunch, myself and Dr. Lee, we came in from lunch. We had gone out, we got some lunch, and we were coming back. On the way back, we walked into the building, and one of the people that we actually knew that works at this building said, hey, I've wanted to talk to you guys. I heard that you trade, okay? So naturally, this just becomes a part of who we don't have to say, well, from 6 to 8, I'm prospecting. That's not how things work today. Talking about the business or the services is a 24-hour day. It's just what we do. It becomes a part of who we are. A doctor is a doctor, an attorney is an attorney, a dentist is a dentist, a chiropractor is it just becomes a part of who they are. People are asking, what do we do? Okay. So it's a part of our identity. That's why you don't have to set aside time to build the business. You're always talking about our services. Okay. That's how you get to those ranks. Here's another recommendation I have. Very important for you guys to understand. You want to post every day on social media. Now, some of you are like, I don't like social media. Okay, then you don't like progress. That's like saying, let me go back to the Polaroid camera. I don't want this digital camera stuff with these phone things. Come on. If you don't conform, you'll be conformed. It's not a lack of resources, it's lack of being resourceful. Post every day on social media. Why? Because it piques a person's interest to find out more about what you do. It is a walking, moving billboard that works 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. My goal is to post 2 times a day on my social media, something uplifting, something inspiring, something about the trading, something about the business, something about, time freedom, of course, compliant, right? We got to be compliant with, quote, lifestyle claims and stuff like that. But look, people are on social media. The reason why you want to post on social media is because that's where people are at. They're on their phones all day. Post on social media and do it frequently. Okay? All right. And I have a whole training on that, by the way, on how to do it and what to post. Personal development is not an option if you want to be successful long-term, okay? The mindset is actually more important than the skill set because what you put in your mind grows over time. What you look at the longest becomes the strongest. So every day, 7 days a week, I do personal development. At 19 years of age, 21 years ago, I can promise you I'd not be successful like I am today if it were not for personal development. It's changed my life. The audios, the books, and all that stuff. If you guys want to be successful, you've got to be pouring into your mind every day good, positive information because there's a war in your mind every day of should I do this? Should I quit? Should I do this? Should I quit? Should I quit? Should I quit? Should I quit? I lost that trade. I don't know if this can work for me. Percy, you've got to combat those feelings every day that you have by the thoughts that you are putting into your mind, okay? Follow 2 to 5 people per day. 2 to 5 new people per day. Why would you want to do that? Because that is a way on social media where you can what? You can connect with people. You're just connecting with people. That's it. Follow 2 to 5 people per day. Okay? So that gives you new people that you can actually reach out to. Attend webinars consistently. This is a webinar. This is a training. You're always learning. You're always improving. I'm on webinars all the time. I don't care if they're 21 years old or 81 years old. I'm on a webinar. I want to learn because someone's going to say something, whether it's with a trading or building, that's going to change it for me. There could be one bit of information that if I sat home and I didn't get on that webinar, that could actually change things in my favor. Okay. Always be attending webinars on a consistent basis. Attend all live events possible. What did they talk about yesterday? We got convention in October. All live events. Am I going? Of course I'm going. The real question is, do you want to be successful? Oh, I don't think I can make it. I'm going to sit back. I don't think I can make that event. Yet you would never miss a Super Bowl. We would never miss some type of, whether it was a Beyonce event or something, okay? If you want to grow, you get to events. Why? Because you want to get around winners, not whiners. You want to get around people that are actually going somewhere in life. I have not missed a convention in my entire career. I've been to every single one of them. And because I've been to every single one of them, I've spoken at every single one of them because I attended events. Okay, attend all the live events possible. Now, personally, I trade an hour, maybe before it was 2 hours, but it's really like an hour a day. Myself and my trading partner, around an hour. The rest of the day is open and available to build the business, which is what I'm doing right now. Okay, you can do the same even with a job or school because the average person has what, 4 or 5 hours a day of free time. They do. I don't care how many hours a day that you work. Some of you have one job, multiple jobs, part-time, full-time, whatever. You have the time. Yes, you need time for rest. Yes, you need time for relaxation. Yes, you need time with your family. You need time to exercise and stuff like that. But the time is there. The question is, are you willing to put in the time for your goals to come to pass? We give 40 to 60 hours a week to our employer that we don't like and be around coworkers we don't like, but we're not willing to put in an hour a day towards our dream and our goals. I think, my friends, that that's important. So this is how I structure it. Okay. And I'm only going to spend 5 more minutes on here. All right. And I'm going to give you guys a copy of this training. This is how I structure it. Now, if you look at the screenshots on here, this is an actual screenshot of my calendar, what it looks like on an average daily basis. Now, here's what I tell people. Your calendar is your boss, especially when you're an entrepreneur. Now, if I look at your calendar and it's empty, what do I see? You're scheduling seasons of nothing in your future. Now, you say, I'm just not one of those calendar people. That's fine. You probably got an empty bank account too. The bottom line is, do you think that Jeff Bezos, Warren Buffett, and Mark Zuckerberg wake up every day and say, let's wing it and let's see how things go? Of course they don't. John C. Maxwell says a level 5 leader spends time every day scheduling out their day in advance, not only in their mind, but on paper. Okay, your calendar is your boss. If you don't have a calendar, you're looking at it, and all you see on that calendar is stuff that doesn't matter, go do this and go do that, your scheduling season is nothing in your future. Now, too many people tell me, oh, I'm so busy, don't have time to build a business, don't have time to trade. I'm just going to be upfront with you guys. Excuses sound best to those who make them. So let me break this down. Number 1, you work 8 hours a day on average. Number 2, that leaves 16 hours left. So let's give you 8 hours of sleep, okay? That leaves 8 hours left. Let's give you 4 hours of time, getting ready, driving, family time, personal time, brush your teeth, TV time, gym time, etc. That still leaves 4 hours left in the day. Now, what you do with those 4 hours is going to determine the quality of your life, how much money you make, the impact that you make, the lives that you change. And so there's no more excuses for lack of time being the reason why you can't do the business, because it's not lack of time, it's lack of direction, it's lack of desire. Now you may say, but Brandon, I got a second job. Well, sleep less hours. And now you don't have an option but to make it happen on the side, unless you want to spend the rest of your life working to make somebody else's dreams come true. But this is the transparency right here. It is the time. Question is, do you have the habits, the rituals, the routines, and the discipline to actually do this? Because people are making time for their favorite TV shows, scanning social media between 6 and 8 hours a day. And at the end of the day, you got to decide, do I really want my goals? These are my morning rituals, step by step. I have these. They're on my phone. I see them every day. I call it the things to conquer list. I have my 2020 top goals. I have my business goals, financial goals, marriage goals, spiritual goals, physical goals, family goals, mindset goals. Now, people sometimes said to me, Brandon, that looks really tiring. I don't think I can do that. Do you know what's tiring? Being broke all the time. Do you know what's tiring? Being in debt. You know what's tiring? Is working a job that you don't even like. Going to jobs that make you sick. That is what's tiring. So the discipline provides freedom, which is actually less tiring. At least that you were tired. Look, let's just be real. All of us are going to be tired. I'm tired. But at least you're tired being a champion. At least you've made an impact. At least that you've made a difference. And that's why I use an app called Strides. If you have an iPhone, the Strides app has daily tracking and accountability, transparency, all the goal setting, and it's sending me alerts throughout the day. The top 5 things. What are the top 5 things that I need to do every single day in order to be moving towards my goals? And that's why I have something like this that can hold me accountable. Because Jim Rohn said, don't mistake movement for achievement. He said, it's easy to get faked out about being busy. The question is, busy doing what? What exactly are you doing that's keeping you I'm so busy? I'd love to see what it is that you're doing on a daily basis. What is it that every single day you're saying, I got so much going on? Well, guess what? Other people have hit chairman that have more stuff going on than you. There's very few people that are more busy than I am. I worked 40 to 60 hours a week. I had a family, now 6 kids and all this stuff. I was still building the business on the side. And I said, I'm working on my part-time income to become my full-time thing. And it eventually became that way. And it took time to make it happen. But guess what? It did happen. And it can happen for you. And yes, you can balance both. You can trade and you can build. And I just proved to you that it can get done. And now the question is, are you going to get it done? That's the question, is are you actually going to discipline yourself and set up those habits, those routines, and those rituals and actually get it done? That's up to you. Ask yourself the question, do you really want to win? Okay? Or have you invested in your excuses or your potential? Because for me, I will frankly outwork people. If they're smarter than me, if they came from privilege and I didn't, I'm just going to simply outwork them. And I know that you guys can do the same. Let's invest into our opportunity and not into our excuses, because everybody's got them. Okay? Everybody has excuses. There's no question about it. I used to believe in my own excuses. By the way, we need to mute someone out. I used to believe in my own excuses. And guess what? The excuses kept me where I was at, which was broke-minded and broke financially. So guys, that is my training for today. What I want to do is go to Brandon Boyd Official. Follow me on there. Hit me up in the DM and say, send me the recording, and I'll get you guys a recording. And I'm super grateful for everyone that's been on. I love the UK team here and a lot of other people who are on. Roger Garth, Simon Brooks, and all the rest who are working so hard. I know that you guys want to win at this. And here's what I tell you. If you do not quit, you will eventually win, because boom, all of a sudden an idea comes to your mind. I know how to trade. I know how to build. All it took was 1 leader, 2 leaders, and boom, they came onto your team. You've now got that residual income. This is what life is all about. Life is all about overcoming the setbacks, the trials, the tribulations, all the obstacles in our way, that you are a winner, you are a champion, and that you have to actually believe that, and that you actually have to declare that. So with that, Roger, I'm going to go ahead and turn it back to you. I appreciate you for having me on here as a guest. I love you and your team, and just super grateful for everything that you do by setting the tone for the team of what we need to be doing to make things happen. So Roger, thanks for having me on, man.
Thanks a lot, Brandon. Brandon, the training was absolutely awesome. And I remember you doing this a few months ago, and that Strides app made a world of difference to me. I'd never heard of Strides until I saw you do this the first time. And when I started using it and start tracking things and monitor, that's when you start to make progress. And if I could say anything to absolutely everybody here, track and monitor what you do. That's how you grow.
Well, Roger, that's why I created chairmantracker.com as well, chairmantracker.com, because everybody, especially entrepreneurs, you got to have accountability. The problem is you go from working in a job where you have accountability to, hey, I'm an entrepreneur, which now means I can do whatever the heck I want, even if I'm not paying my bills. And so because there's no tracking, there's no accountability, you end up making no money. So I forced myself to have my own accountability and tracking system so that it would keep me on. Like, I treat this every day, Roger. Like, if I don't perform, I'm getting fired. That's the way I treat this, like a job. And because I treat it like a job where I could get fired, I get paid well, and it's worked out for me.
Absolutely, 100%. Okay, guys, so I think one of the best trainings that Brandon's done for ages. I love these Monday night sessions, but this one was superb. So appreciate that, Brandon. We will be back again with more training from Brandon next week. He tells us we may have a special guest. I don't know who that is yet, but we'll keep you up to date with what's happening as far as that's concerned. In the meantime, you heard last night about everything that's happening within IM right now. We have our new event that's going to take place early October. The key for you guys right now is get out and tell everybody about it, because right now we're at the most exciting stage in IM's existence. What happens right now in this next 4 months will propel us into 2021 and will make a massive change to the lives of absolutely everyone on the call. So that said, I'm going to wrap this up for tonight. I will see you all the same time next Monday. And if you need anything, you know where we all are. Speak to you all soon, guys. Bye, everybody.